Hey everyone, welcome to Gadget Talk. And nope, this week I'm not in Chad's workshop, which I wish I was. Trust me, I really wish I was in Chad's workshop. But I got this other view behind me. I'm actually up in the mountains in Winthrop. Chad is, of course, as you see in his workshop. But we got a great show planned for you this week or tonight. And so we are really looking forward to it. How are you doing tonight, Chad?
I'm doing great. It's a nice, beautiful day, only 82 degrees. So at least here where I'm at. So I'm happy this week.
Yeah, it's cooling down here where I'm at right now, so it's been pretty nice. But around Winthrop, I'm actually just probably about 40 to 50 miles south of the Canadian border right now. So it's really nice. And as the sun sets behind me, you'll actually be able to see more of the background later on tonight. So I was hoping it's going to be a little bit lower, but it's not. So, but it'd be really nice.
Yeah. It actually looks like a great place out there. We saw some shots behind you there earlier, and
yeah, it's
nice place up there.
It's really beautiful, and it's really nice. I'm loving my vacation, getting up to spend some time up here up in the Northwest, and just having a lot of fun. So, but before we bring on our special guest tonight, and it's going to be a great show. We're going to learn some really stuff. Chad's, you're really excited about this show for what one reason, Chad?
Actually, I love the idea of the CD-ROM or the CD tray cache.
Right.
Because, we do the ones where the doors just pop open, right? And it's a big surprise and everything. But when you have a drawer that just slowly comes out like a CD-ROM tray and goes back in, I mean, that's amazing. It looks like, it looks like something way more high tech than probably what it is. Right, we'll find out tonight.
And it's really cool. So, but before we get to bring in our guests, let's go ahead and hear about from our sponsors. If you have not become a patron of the Geocache Talk Network, what are you waiting for? Patron levels start as low as a Bison Tube level at $3 a month. To sign up is easy. Simply go to the Geocache Talk website and click on the Become a Patron button, or go to patreon.com/Geocache Talk. Patrons now get the famous Blackout coin, invites to special events, and other really great items throughout the year. Become a patron today.
Logwork, the creators of the fantastic logbook, made with genuine Right in the Rain paper. The logbook's designed for the micro containers of the present and future, geared towards the hider who'd rather go caching than doing cache maintenance. Find them at logwork.com. That's LOGWERK.com.
Have you subscribed to FTF Magazine yet? FTF Magazine is the #1 geocaching magazine available. It is a quarterly magazine that you can be part of. Submit your geocaching milestones and adventures to be published. FTF Magazine is also interactive with puzzles to solve and the hunt to find Spartacus. If you can solve the puzzle or find Spartacus, then you will be entered in to win a special pack tag. Every new subscription, you will receive a special swag pack. Subscribing is easy. Just visit FTF's website, ftfgeo.com. Don't miss out and subscribe today. All right, so now we're back. And let's go ahead and, what do you say, Chad? Should we go ahead and bring in our special guest tonight?
Let's bring him in.
All right, so here we are joined with Tricacheus. Now it's going to be hard when I say Chad, they're both going to answer. So I think I'm just going to call it Bounce and Try. That's how I'm going to get around this tonight. I'm going to refer to you guys. So
that sounds good to me.
All right, Try. So welcome. And I know, like I said, Chad's excited tonight or Bounce is excited because he doesn't have to do a build tonight. It's yours. So tell us what we're going to be doing tonight.
Well, start off, I wish I was in Chad's shop right now myself. So
hey, you can come up anytime you want. You can come and build anything you want.
I'd be afraid of how much I'd learn and how many tools I'd want, and it'd be just an expensive deal if I came up there.
Yeah, I felt the money being sucked out of my pocket on the tools last week too. So.
Yeah.
Especially that glow forge. We were talking about that before show too. That was I've been seeing stuff.
It's actually pretty cool. I was telling Derek, if I had to pick between one of the tools, I don't know which one I'd pick because they all have their unique part that they can do, right? So the CNC machine is kind of cool because you can create different things, but you have to sit there and you have to actually mount them down and clamp them in place and then make sure the piece doesn't come loose. Otherwise, if it does, the router tip hits it and ruins it. But the Glowforge will just sit there and cut it out. And then 3D printing is so nice, and the vinyl cutter, everything. It's just, I don't know what I would pick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and all your tools are too smart for me, though. That's the other problem. I need
Too
dumb
smart for me
tools.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our high school started a program where they get like a laser cutter or a printer or different types of things, and they can use them for 6 weeks or however long, and then they swap and they get another computer controlled thing to run. So that's a real neat program they've got going at the school here.
Well,
That's really
cool.
great. That's really cool. All right, Try. So what are we going to be learning tonight?
Well, on the last show I was on, I brought a cache that had a drawer that opened up. Well, of course, it won't work now, but a drawer that opens up on the side, and you guys were kind of interested in it. So all it is a CD drive.
And that just amazes me. That's what that is.
Yeah. It's just a CD you get out of the computer. It just takes there's 4 screws most of the time on the bottom.
So how did you come up with the idea of using a CD-ROM drive for a drawer?
One more late night, I'm sure, woke up and thought, hey, I could do that.
Added it to the baggie of ideas.
There it is.
There you go.
There's the Holy Grail right there. There it is.
You can see in there, right?
No.
We'll blur it out.
We're trying to.
Okay.
We're trying to.
So that's the inside of your CD drive. Most of the CD drives have a little lock, so you can't just pull the drawer out. So you'll have to push this little button in order to get the drawer started.
Right.
And then this is the laser for reading the CD or DVD. So you got to take that out. And sometimes you can use that as part of a geocache. And of course, it's wired in. This particular one has a different type of drive motor that you would need a driver. So this would be a stepper motor, I believe. So this one wouldn't work as well. But I've taken and used this drive to either push out a code out the side of a box, or I've used it. I put a pin and use it as a type of lock. So you can put a pin on it and it would slide and lock the pin in. So the door wouldn't open.
That's cool. So it doesn't have to just be a drawer. It could be a latch.
Yeah. Yep. I use it for locking a door is what it was for. But now I buy all the latches and stuff. It's a lot. But yeah, it's kind of neat. Like I say, I just put a little screw a piece of plexiglass on there and it pops outside to show a combination for a lock. For the geocache. But so as far as the CD on them is on this particular one, the motor is right here where you could connect into this. The ones I have out have wires on them already. So there's a positive and negative. They're DC. They run on I believe 5 volts, and I run them on either 2 AA batteries or D batteries or whatever,
right,
up to 4D, depending on what I'm trying to do. The nice thing, like I say, is using it this way, you can't pull the drawer out. It has to. There's a lock as it goes in. It locks itself in there, so you can't pull it out. So I like that feature on them. But it's fairly simple, like I say. To make it go in and out, you put positive to one side and negative to the other, and it'll go one direction. Right. But then if you reverse the wires, positive to the other, then it'll make the drawer go back in. So it's fairly simple to wire. So you need a special switch. Switches I use, they're called double pull, double throw. So they'll have this side is one switch, and this is part of the other switch. So there are 2 legs on each side. So if I put power to here and I reverse these 2, then it would change depending on which way you push the trigger.
That's really
particular
cool.
one, Yeah, this particular one's a momentary, so as soon as you let off, it jumps back into the center.
Right.
There are some that lock only one way or the other. Or
And that would kind of, if it was locking one way or the other, that would kind of burn it out, wouldn't it? Or just keep supplying the power to it all the time.
Yep, the locking ones, the cache I have has a locking one, but there's a push button you push to make it go.
Okay.
So you lock it one way, push the button, let off, turn it the other way, and push the button, and it'll go back in.
Right. Okay.
So double pull, double throw. That's there are 2 pulls, and the double throw means it switches on and off both directions. This particular lock, it'll lock one side, stop in the center, and lock in the other way. But like I say, I think it's best to use the momentary ones. They
Right.
less problems.
Yeah, I was thinking, because when I was looking at the one that kind of locks, I was thinking that could possibly burn out the motor one way or the other if it kept going. And as we know, caches burn out motors. We just know that.
Yeah. So you have to use a push button. So a lot of times I'll just use a push button with the ones that lock. But yeah, definitely the momentary switches are the way to go.
Yeah.
So in order to wire one of these up, you need to, let's see. So I'm just going to use 2 AA's or 4 AA's here. And I'm going to try soldering. We'll see how this goes.
Yes.
I know what kind of luck we have on live shows and soldering.
Well, which was kind of funny. And I was saying this to Chad earlier. What popped up on my Facebook timeline today is that show that we've always teased Chad about the soldering was a year ago today.
Oh, wow, really?
Yes, it was kind of funny. Now you're all right. Let's see if we can repeat this with you with another Chad.
So. I'm going to turn it up to 3,000.
No, I've soldered since then, and it's been fun.
Yes, it has. But it's just one of those things of it. Murphy's Law. We just know that's what's going to happen. That's why I don't do these live.
So on this switch, I'm going to bring the power in, positive and negative, and then I'm going to bring the positive from this one all the way around over to here. So I'm going to crisscross this one and crisscross that one. And then my motor will be connected to the center 2 lugs. So I'm just going to put the crisscross in, and we'll see if this works anyway. Like I say, doing this live stuff is, and then try to do it for the camera too. That's the other thing that's tougher than you would think.
You could just blame it on me if something happens. It's okay.
Okay. Yeah, we'll say Chad did it.
Yep.
Well, and Dave is saying
you wouldn't be wrong.
That's right.
Yeah, live. Dave Wagner says live video sucks up the IR and super cools the tip. Fun fact.
Oh, that's right.
All right. So for the audio listeners, Tricaches, this is looping from one side of the momentary switch to the other side with it's a red wire, and now he's doing the same thing from 2 other poles with the black.
Pre-tinned all this stuff before I started, I guess. Yep.
Engineer 42 is taking a CD-ROM drive apart as he watches.
That's great.
Yeah.
I have one sitting on my bench at the house, and of course, as you know, that I'm not at my house right now. So
I have 3 of them in the drawer down here, and I thought, I should do it, but I actually want to watch. Good thing we, have this on YouTube. We can watch it later.
Yeah, we'll go back, and I would be lying if I would say I have not done that before. Go back and watch one of our builds to. All right, how did we do that wiring on that again? Just to refresh my memory on something.
Yeah, let me stumble through it. All right, so that's all the soldering I'm doing today. So all I did, if I done it right, so black negative here, it's going to go across and come over here. Positive, come across. So when you flip the switch one way, so our motor is going to come off the 2 center ones. So when you flip the switch one way, it's going to be putting negative here, positive there. When you flip it the other way, it'll be negative here, positive there. So it's flipping the motor back and forth.
Sorry.
I see Dan Moore's comment.
Yes, we
both clicked on it.
It says, you would think my wife would notice the big hole in the front of her computer.
That's awesome.
You're lucky that you have a computer that has a CD-ROM in it still.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. I don't think mine has a CD-ROM.
No, yours doesn't, because I noticed that last week too. Mine doesn't at home. My laptop doesn't, but my kids' laptops, I got them for this year for school, do. I made sure they did. So it's kind of funny.
Okay, so now I'm going to run the power over, or run these green and yellow are going to run to the positive and negative on the drawer. Find that. And it really doesn't matter which one you hook it to, because you'll just turn the switch around if it doesn't line up right. All right, so then that's bringing power to this when I flip the switch. Now we need to hook up our battery.
And you're just running 6 volts through there, right?
Yep.
Yeah, look at 4 AA's.
4 AA's, exactly. Okay. And I have ran it on two batteries before. It makes it look a little slower, of course, because less voltage. It opens and closes a little slower. So
camo tape.
Yeah, camo tape. She'll never see it. Yeah, they're talking about how they're going to hide the CD-ROM missing. Audie also said, have Dave or Chad 3D print a lookalike cover.
There you go.
Oh, there's probably one on Thingiverse. You probably don't need to
I'm sure
try and design it.
Yeah.
So if I wired it up right, we've got power coming, going to the outside, and switching then to the back to the motor. So if I wired it right, there it opens, there it's closing. So it's
so smooth.
Pretty darn easy. If I can figure it out, most anybody can. So now I've got the cache I'm working on now uses reed switches, which I think most people know I love reed switches.
Yeah, you're not the only one.
Yeah. So a reed switch, the way it works is there's a little magnetic switch in here. So when you bring a magnet to it, it'll close the switch or open it, depending on the type of switch you have. So this was a normally open switch. So it means that electricity doesn't go around until you bring the magnet to it. So you can get normally opened or normally closed. So if I bring this into the circuit somewhere, so let's disconnect the negative and connect to the other side of the reed switch. So now if I flip this switch, it doesn't do anything until I bring a magnet to it, and there it'll open and close. But as soon as I pull the magnet away.
Yeah, that's really cool. I love that.
So
you could hook an LED up to that too, so you know if you have something in the right spot, then you'd know the switch would be on.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So many different options that you could do with this, and I'm sitting here thinking of some other options, like when you're talking about earlier about how you added a switch in there or a pin so it'll actually lock a cabinet. Could actually be another way of doing this without having to make us. It's another way of making a smart cache not smart. Just without
most of my caches I make from junk I've got laying around. So until I started buying these fancy latches and stuff, that's how I built all of my locks. We're either using the CD drawer or 12 volt, the electric locks for a car.
Right.
Little plunger. I use those quite a bit. And so most of mine were done with that. But so like I say, this reed switch. So once you figure out how to get all this wired up, which isn't all that hard, like I say, I can figure it out.
And answer the Pizza Ninja's question real quick. Yes, that is a cow magnet. We talked about that in a different day.
I had to bring that on last time. So this is the cache I made using a CD drawer. There's a CD drawer in there. And then again, of course, there's reed switches. I don't know if you can see reed switches up underneath here, but there's reed switches underneath and magnets in these rings. You'll have to line up the word up and down on this one. Don't look at the word so you know how to get it open. And then there's the open and close switch here. And on this one, you have to push the button in order to open and close the cache to get into where the log is. So it's just another way to use the CD drawers to make the drawer so you can get into it instead of it just sliding out with a little log book on it or something.
And that's really cool. How did you get the rings to stay in place? That's what I'm looking at, how you did that.
That's pretty tricky.
It's a trade secret.
Yeah. So I cut a slot in on each side of this ring.
Okay.
And then there's a bolt. So the bolt slips and keeps the rings in. You can't really see how it's done.
So just your center hole, your center circle is mounted, and then the other two slide around
it? They all spin. Yep.
Hmm.
So there's a slot in between both of these, and then the head of the bolt slips into them slots. So you have to put it all together, drop it. It's a little tricky, but
and then just get your tension right. So basically, it really I understand. Okay, I think I understand it. Okay.
So is it like a T slot then?
Exactly. Yep. T slot. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like I say, it's I've got dumb tools, so I'm using routers and bandsaws and jigsaws, and I'm sure your CNC machine will do a real good job on it. But it works pretty good. They roll pretty nice, and so like I say,
Dan
Dan
here has a question. Is that a gear or belt driven CD-ROM drive?
This one is a gear driven. I haven't had bad luck with either one. In my mind, if you use one that's got a belt, there'd be a little bit of give in there.
Right.
This particular one has kind of a spring-loaded gear, so if it hits, it doesn't jar the teeth. So, but I have used both. Like I say, when I was talking about how the drawers lock where you can't pull it out, when it's like this style, now hopefully nobody that's coming to Gilby knows this or sees this, but you can actually just move it with your fingers. So it doesn't lock, which isn't, but it's just kind of a gimmicky thing, I think. So you can get into it easy. This particular one.
What are you going to put that in? Is that going to be going in an ammo can, or how's that? What you're going to put that in?
Yep, it drops right into an ammo can.
Okay, so they pull it out and be able to solve it that way. Okay.
Yep. Pull it out.
Now, are you leaving that acrylic clear so they can see in it, or did you do that just to show?
I did it just for show, so I could kind of show how it's done, so people could see inside there. I will be painting the drawer so people can't see that part. I might just leave it clear just for the fun of it. Except for you can see the reed switches. So maybe I'll have to paint the bottom side of this part or something so they can't see where that. But right. I like the looks of the clear box.
I do too. And how's your cache maintenance on? How do you replace the batteries in that?
There's 2 screws on each side, and then this whole section, the DVD and everything slips right out.
Okay.
Yeah. But
that's cool.
It's fairly simple, and I'm sure there's smarter people than me that can make it do cooler things than I do. But
I don't know. That's pretty cool.
It is really cool. I really love that. And Rumbacats goes, it's great that you have Gadget Cache makers interviewing other Gadget Cache makers. You guys ask the right questions. Thank you. Well, hey, we want to know too. That was we're trying to figure this out because we may want to make this too. So,
so one of the caches that Josh came out and videoed was called Gadget Cache Cloaker. And sadly, I had some teenagers sign up Geocache, and they went and busted a lot of caches out south of me. So now all my caches are premium, which I hated to do, but
yeah, and that's the struggle with having to do that too.
Yeah.
You want to be found, you want people to find them, but sometimes we just have to make a premium.
Yeah. Right. So this is the one that that was there. It had the drawer here that came out. There was RAM in it. And then you had to put the RAM in here and lock it in. And then there was a little thing that slid out on the laser drive. That's part of it. And it popped out, and then it gave you the code for the lock here. But yeah, it's a little sad to show up and you find this all busted up like that. I really want the container back, that this went into, because that was a neat one of them round.
How did you make the RAM connect so it knew it had it was connected? You just pick a couple of the points and.
That's what I thought I'd be able to do, was just pick a couple of points and solder. But it was the most difficult thing I've ever ran into trying to get a connection. But I ended up soldering, I don't know, there's a wire that goes from here to here all the way across. And then I just picked some points on here. But like I say, I thought it would be real easy, but it was a pain in the butt trying to find the right connections to get it to work. But
oh wow,
I'm going to have to start saving all my RAM now.
Yep.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, I have a few in a drawer at home, so I'm good to go.
I just threw a whole bunch away.
What?
So
Chad,
Dan, his wife's going to notice if the RAM is missing. Just to let you know, Dan, your wife will notice that.
Yeah. You'd notice RAM before the CD drive.
We can't 3D print that.
No.
Yeah, but I enjoy making these funny little caches. We've been getting quite a few people from all over lately. Illinois is the last 2 weeks is Illinois. And
I think we have someone from our network heading up your way. I think, right?
Yes, yeah, Emily, right?
Emily, yeah, I think she's heading your way.
So Dan asked, "Can we get a close up of the container lock mechanism one more time?" I think he's meaning of the CD-ROM one of the circular one. So he wants to kind of see if you can, if there's a way we can see that closer.
Which part are we looking at?
So there's that, and then maybe on the underside. Dan, are we showing you the right ones? Just let us know.
Yeah, so you can see the reed switches there. You probably can see a couple of bolts that come down that are tying this all down to the bed.
Oh, he was asking for the other one, the one that had the one that got broken up.
Oh,
the locking mechanism on that one.
Okay. This one, so this is the DVD player here. Oh. So the DVD would have sat here. It would have came out. I think Dan was up here and did this one. Then the drawer would have slid out. You would have pulled two ROM out, dropped it into place. And then underneath this ROM, underneath the DVD, was the laser, the little tiny one, and it would just pop out, and it had the code for the lock over here. But it used the same switch. You just open and close here, and then it had two switches on each side. One opened this drawer, and the other opened this drawer. And it wouldn't work unless you had this ROM in place to get this little one out.
So Dan is saying that he rebuilt it here and need the case mechanism. So I guess however you had it coming out of the case, if you had, I don't know if you have that, because you said you're missing the case now, correct?
Yeah, this used to go into a round ammo can, about yay big around, about 3 feet long. And it was kind of neat because it slid in, and on the end here, all you seen was this once you took the top off. And you actually had to pivot this open, and then there's a button underneath here you pushed to unlock it. So you pulled this whole cylinder out to start with. So the big puzzle was getting this out of the box to start with. This part was pretty easy, but
so how did that button release it from the round ammo can?
Right. That's what it stands for. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I see. Okay, so this is where the latch. There was a latch bolted to the bottom of the ammo can, and which would pin to this. And then when you push the button, It was just a long.
Oh, the
ready
push
rod.
button.
It just pushed on the latch and released it.
Yep. Just pushed on the
Oh,
latch that's on it.
It's so simple. That almost looks like it would be almost electronic or something.
Yeah, it's just like I say, I'm not that smart. I like things simple, mechanical. That stuff.
You say that, but I would never have thought about doing this.
No, I wouldn't have either. That's really cool. It's really ingenious. And then, Dan asked,
Looks like it's a bar or something.
it looks like it's a bar. Dan's asking, is it a cable wire or is it just actually a bar that goes straight through?
It's a piece of ready rod, 1/4-inch ready rod with a big nut on the end and a spring in there somewhere to return it.
Flex.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then
that's pretty cool. I really did about that. All the
I think we're losing Try for a second. So I'll come back to this question here in a second. I think we just lost him. Am I correct? Bounce, because I don't know if it's my signal or
I think so. He'll pop back up when he comes.
He'll pop back up in a second. I'm gonna go ahead and pull him out for a second. So I just think that is just really, really cool. How, I mean, mixing the CD-ROM with the mechanical release of that, I think that's just really cool. And it's like you said, it looks like it would be electronic, that button, but it's not.
Yeah, I mean, just the way he builds that is ingenious, and I love, like I said many times, I love how that drawer just comes out. It's a slow action drawer, it's a motor. It just looks so high tech. It's so cool. I plan on using that myself. I'm gonna take this build and use it.
Yeah, me too. And I'm gonna go ahead and come back to Engineer 42's question. He says, "How are you making sure cachers close the drawer completely? Are you powering it closed or expecting them to push it?" I think most of the time they're actually powering it closed. So once they'll actually power it closed to come back. So they'll reverse that. That's why it's the double pull, double throw switch, and so it'll actually power back in. Is it going to always come? Are they always going to put it back? No, they never do. I mean, we all know that. It's just the pain of other cachers. But hopefully, as we're putting more gadgets out, more and more people will start respecting those gadgets, and I hope, and they'll actually be able to start putting things back and ready for others. And that's also part of what I know. I try for my caches. I try and make it real simple for the reset. Because if it's a real difficult reset, I don't think they're going to have to take the time to put it all back. Is that kind of what you've experienced as well, Chad?
Yeah, and then I think some people get really excited and then they forget to put stuff back. In fact, I had someone leave their glasses inside one of my caches once. Or actually, it was sitting on the top of the one that was in the loading dock you went and found last week.
Right.
When it was the other cache. And I'm like, how would you forget your glasses? Don't you need them? But I guess they're just reading glasses or something. But yeah, they get really excited and they just forget to put stuff back or stuff like that. They start taking pictures and logging it and forget. So, but yeah, I mean, just that button. You have the double pull, double throw switch, and then they just push it until it's closed, and then hopefully they let go of it so they don't burn up the motor.
Right. And I mean, talking about being excited. We left something at your house last week, and we had to turn around and come back for it. So I mean, I was so excited about what I saw in your workshop. So I can completely understand that.
Yeah.
Luckily enough, we were only just a couple blocks away. We're like, hey, you left something. I don't remember what it was. Something for Chewy, I think. But
yeah. And you could take the Arduino and you could actually use this, and then just like you light up an LED, right? You're just using the voltage.
Right.
And you would just, for the timing you do for the LED for 5 seconds, you figure out how long it takes to open and close, and you just put to turn on for 5 seconds and it opens.
Right. And that's just really, really cool. And I think it's just one of those things that's the wow factor, the awe factor, that when you're all of a sudden you see this drawer come open and then it's there. And I know I did a cache quite a while ago, and I tried doing a hidden drawer kind of thing. This would solve that issue that I was having to make it look a lot cooler. So I think that hidden drawer thing may come back on behind the cache sometime, and actually reusing the CD-ROM and doing that. I don't know when, but it may come up pretty soon. So
yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Well, real quick, while we're waiting, we can talk about a little bit what we're going to be doing next show.
Okay.
We are going to build I think Engineer 40 is talking about a limit switch. we're going to build a maze cache. So like use a magnet and a ball bearing or a ball through it, and then when it gets to the end, it'll activate a door or a latch. So we'll be building that on the next show. Which, if I was a good host, I'd have the date right here in front of me.
Yeah, give me a second. I'll have it for you in a second. It'll be at the end of the month.
27th?
Get to my calendar right now.
July 27th.
I'm on vacation right now, so I don't know what day it is. Yes, July 27th will be the next Gadget Talk. So we're back on our regular Tuesdays. So everything's going to be really cool there. I know we've had kind of a few that have been on Mondays because of different guests and the opportunity of me being able to be in chat shop and us actually being able to do a podcast for the first time in one location. So that was a little bit kind of maybe throwing some other people off there. But we are back on Tuesdays, first and the last Tuesday of the month, doing that. Also during this time, don't forget the Chromia print has the coins. And if you have not gotten your coin, this is when they sell out, they sell out. So go make sure you go to the easiest way to do that is go to Geocache, geocachetalk.com and click on the store, the shop button up there, and they'll take you to Chromia print. And there's a lot of different stuff. Of course, there's the Simon boxes that are on there. And if it happens, which it should not say anymore, sold out, they are not sold out. So you can always go check that out. You'll be able to find it. We'll be able to put those on there. And here pretty soon we'll have the other boxes that Dave Wagner was teasing last week. So, and it looks like we got Try back. So let's go ahead.
I don't think they want me to be on the whole show.
Oh, no. Yeah, we do. You just
it's just because we're live.
You just all of a sudden dropped off there for honest.
Yeah, I don't know what the heck.
Well, at least it lasted through the build, though.
Yeah,
thankfully. Yeah.
So
nice. So somebody did have a question here on the what was it? How do you keep people to make the mechanism close? How was it?
It was Engineer 42. Are you talking about this one?
Yeah, there we go. Yes.
Making sure cache's door closed? Are they powering it closed, or are you expecting them to push it?
I expect them to close it, I guess. Yeah, I do expect them to shut it and reset the cache. That's the hardest thing, is getting people they're all excited to do the cache, but they're ready to get to the next one, and sometimes they'll forget to lock it up and reset it. So trying to get a cache reset is the hardest part sometimes.
So you expect them to power it closed with the button, or just push it with their hand?
Oh, power it. Yeah. There's the switches. I always have it so you can open and close it. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Nice.
And of course, Gary is saying excellent ideas and deployment. So yeah, just kind of thinking about how different ways that we can use the drawer is just so many different options. And I think this opens up so many different really cool ideas for so many different people. I know while you're moving from your barn to your living room, Chad and I were talking about some of the different deployments that we would like to do. So that's just some really great ideas. It's opening up some new, more creative juices on some stuff. So we're always, so you may think that we're getting our hands into your little secret little bag, but no, we're trying to come up with these on our own.
I'm
Derek,
the bag.
I had to lock my drawer idea my idea drawer last week when Derek was here. He tried to get into it.
Is that what that top drawer is?
Yes, that top drawer is my book. It's my drawer of books with all my ideas in here. So
oh, that's why that was locked.
They're all on here, all my designs and drawings, and there's a whole bunch of books in here, several of them. And also my Arduino code is in some of them too.
That's why that was locked. Now you tell me that now that I'm gone.
Yeah. Yep. I'm not going to tell you when you're here.
No, I'm happy to share ideas or help whoever. I've had a few messages asking for help for this and that, and I'm happy to do that.
Yeah.
I think we all are. I think most of us builders are always willing to help other cachers if you need it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and I know.
As long as you're nice when you ask.
I get messages all the time asking for different help with this or that or just some. So yeah, I'm always just send me a message either through Facebook, Instagram, or just go through my geocaching profile and find me that way. I'm always willing to answer questions and kind of help brainstorm, or if you're having a problem with something, just go ahead and send me an email, because I love doing that. That's why we do this. So that's just really awesome.
Yeah, that's neat getting messages from people asking if they can build a cache like that. So I know there's quite a few of mine are around, and I know West Virginia Tim always says that on his videos. That he's more than happy to help somebody or copy it, and don't have to put my name on it by no means.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Rubicats here has a question for you. He says, what idea did you have for a cache that turned out not to be such a good cache after the build?
I've got a couple. I spent a bunch of time making a big PVC pipe into it. It slid open instead of a part top coming off. You had to turn some rings, and then it would open up sideways. And boy, I spent a lot of time on that stupid thing and never did get it to work. I've got one out, or I got two out right now that actually, I had one that used a pump, and you pumped RV antifreeze up. Instead of pouring water into the top of a tube,
Right.
it would pump around a spiral and then up, and it'd float the cache out the top. And that one, it worked pretty well, but the RV antifreeze started to stink terrible, so nobody wanted to touch the cache. So that one got archived. That was Hans and Franz. I have one out right now called Corona, and you have to put your hands in these rubber gloves to grab the cache. And of course, to look into the case, I've got some convex and concave lenses you have to look through. So everything is distorted and tough to look through. And of course, you're using these rubber gloves to find the log inside a bunch of gold buttons, and you have to find the pen is locked inside the case. You can't get the pen out. And yeah, it's a pen that looks like a syringe, but of course, being me, I threw a bunch of dead pens in there too. So you have to find the syringe pen in order to log it. Right. And that one's kind of getting, I don't know. I don't really like that one. I thought it was going to be a neat idea at first, and I've got one that uses a voltage meter, and then you have to put a couple of resistors across and read the resistance, and use a number off of certain resistors to get the combination. And that one seems to vary a little bit with temperature for some reason. I don't know what the reason, or it's a humidity.
That's maybe a really cool idea on how to get a code. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a cool idea. And I'm sure we got some electrical engineers in the chat right now that could explain that to us. But I also want to mention, Dave Wagner said on the CD-ROMs or the DVD players, Goodwill might be a good place to find them, or just any thrift store that you can go find. A lot of times they'll have them. That's how I found mine, was at the thrift store where I work actually has a thrift store, and I see some of them coming in and out. I'm going to constantly be going down there and raiding some more pretty soon. So, because I actually want to. I saw before I left, and may not be there. There was an actual CD-ROM like what you had that took apart that was downstairs from my office. So I may go down there and get that here the next day or so when I get back.
Yeah.
And honestly, when I go through the computers and take stuff out, I don't know if you saw my drawer of other things over here, Derek. I have a drawer of heat sinks and all the different internal parts of a CD-ROM drive and everything. And I use those on caches all over the place. I mean, they're just Greeblies pretty much, right? So like on the side of Signal, this is a CD-ROM wheel here, heat sinks. There's all kinds of stuff on here that I don't buy them. I just pull them out of computers when I take them apart.
Yep.
That's cool.
And you can't forget, you got to get the hard drive magnets out of there too.
I have a drawer full of them. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Dan was saying. Hard drive magnets from the hard drives.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, and then Romacat says for the baseball and target cache, did you start out with the tethered ball, or did that happen later? If later, what did you first come up with?
Well, so the cache he's talking about is there's a target on top, up high, probably 10, 12 feet up, and a baseball hanging down on a cable, and you have to throw it, hit the target, and the cache slides out of the target. So I had the idea of doing it, but I just couldn't figure out what type of latch to use that would trip it. Well, I ended up, it was this another stupid easy. I've got a big magnet in the top of the container. It's just a round tube about the size of a caulk or silicone container.
Right.
I think they're flare tubes is what they were. So there's a magnet in the top of the tube, and the trip, where the target is, there's just a teeter-totter basically. And when you hit the target, it just bangs on the magnet, and the thing just falls free from the magnet. So it's just so stupid easy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I had the idea of I wanted to make a baseball target that you have to throw it at, but yeah, I like that one. I enjoyed baseball growing up, and one of my favorite caches.
Yeah, that's really neat. I like that idea. I mean, like once again, some of the best caches are the simplest ones in gadgets. So, because just like, why didn't I think of this?
Right. Yeah, Miss Daisy is another one. It's just stupid easy, just a fan and some LEDs. I mean, how much easier can it be? And everybody, they'll text me, do I really have to get back in the car? I say, yeah, you do. So that's probably my favorite cache for the most part. It's like I say, anybody can wire it up. You can use.
Have you had anybody drive off with it though?
They've always come back so far as I am aware of. Yeah.
Well, they've driven off, but they've had to come back.
And that's the thing that I think I've been fairly lucky, because none of my caches are chained to a tree or anything. Because I want people to get out of the cold or get out of the mosquitoes or whatever happens to be out there. They can bring the puzzle to their car and work on it. But yeah, Miss Daisy, luckily she hasn't drove off.
Nice. Yeah, I don't have any of mine chained to a tree either. They're mainly bolted to the walls or cemented into the ground.
Yeah. Mine are chained to trees for the most part. I mean, it also depends on your area that you're in too. That's one thing that when you're building gadgets, you need to think about your area that you're in, from the material that you're using to the way that you secure it in the location. So, because I mean, you're very rural where you're at. And Bounce is of course very urban. Mine's more urban as well in Memphis right now. So yeah, there's just a lot of different types of people that are in those areas. So you got to always think of that when you're building your caches as well.
When I worked with geocaches on the Geo Tour, that's of course urban. So we had to make sure we cabled or bolted or made them so they couldn't be removed. And we had one geocache was made out of a beer keg and cabled on, and somebody actually cut the cable on that and took it. So I made a new container, another beer keg, and it's at a restaurant. And this time we bolted it to the cement with some huge leg bolts, and it does not move. That one, you aren't going to take that out without pulling cement up. But yeah, it's disappointing to see geocaches getting stolen like that.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yep.
So yeah, and Dan was saying the same thing about Miss Daisy, North Dakota type cache, not safe for other parts of the country. Can you imagine driving, texting, and Miss Daisy?
I believe Dan's wife was rode in the back seat, and she was being chauffeured around while Miss Daisy was holding Miss Daisy out the window.
All right, so here's another question. This one's coming from Ramba Cats. What did you use to push the missile out of the cache when using the syringe? Is it a piston, second syringe, a bladder, or something else?
Okay, so that one is a tube that's in the ground, and there's at the top there's a big syringe, bigger around, and then inside at the bottom of the tube is actually two syringes. So when you take this big syringe and push in, you're pushing on a smaller diameter syringe, and two of them at the same time. So it's actually double acting in a way. And then it pushes the container out. It looks like a ICBM missile coming out. But yeah, it's like I say, dirt simple, easy, just a couple of rubber tubes and some syringes, and you make a cache.
That's really cool. I love that. That's just a super easy mechanism.
Yeah, and I'm more mechanical than I'm electronic. That's for sure.
That's really cool. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say welcome, Carlos from Spain. What is it? It's like 4:00 a.m. I think in Spain right now, isn't it? That's crazy. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, it sounds like he's pulling your hours, Bounce.
Yeah, I'd already be working for a couple hours. It's probably break time. That's what it is, probably for him.
Yeah.
But no, thanks for joining us. I'd love seeing how many people from around the world. We have someone from Australia on here.
Yep.
Who placed? We had his cache on, right, for his Simon one that Dave built or Dave made. It had, there you go, you got it, 10 favorite points with 15 visits. That's pretty good.
That is really good. That's really cool. It's a great percentage. I love that.
Yeah, no, it's exciting getting messages from all over the world. I've got people from Germany and Denmark have contacted me, and yeah, it's kind of neat that happens.
Right?
Yeah, that's cool.
And I just saw that you got a new mural up in your area about it being at the fire station.
Was pretty neat. Yeah, that was really cool. Into the building that they hired a company or a artist to paint a big mural on the side of the building, and so it's a picture of the old depot, a big tractor, of course, farm tractor, and then Gilby Fire Department, and then my path tag is underneath. So we've had a few people take pictures, selfies next to it, and so it's kind of neat. So there'll be a cache next to it at some point. That'll
be really cool. Rombacats once again says, let's see if it'll come up. Where is it? There it is. It says, Tricacheus makes holistic caches. The universe provides his elegantly simple cache solutions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's fun. I really enjoy working on caches and giving people a headache, pulling their hair out. And try to make them not too hard. If my kids can figure it out, I figure most anybody can.
Right, and that's just a lot of fun. And I know there's an event coming up really soon.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the event that's about Gilby going wild. Tell us a little bit about that. Yep. So
last year my arm was twisted to have an event in Gilby. So Gilby Gone Wild was the first year last year. And of course, Geocaches was a big part of that, as well as my family and a few other cachers in the area. So September 25th, we'll be having another Gilby Gone Wild in the park in Gilby. Last year they said I had to put out 30 caches, which I thought was a little high, but did manage to get maybe 15 or so out. And then this year I haven't been told how many I got to put out, but I've got several of them in the shop made up, and I'll have them put out by September 25th, and people can come out and visit Gilby.
How many people are you expecting at that event?
Last year during COVID, we had 120. We had eight different states, and so it was pretty exciting. It's a lot of people. This year, I have no clue how many. I think we've got over 50 signed up now. And then, of course, you can't help but go up to the Fargo Moorhead and get the Geo tour that Geo's got put up together. So a lot of people have been coming just to Gilby and the Geo tour from quite a ways away. I've got somebody texting me, telling me they're going to be coming down from Alaska, and yeah, it's pretty amazing, I think.
So here, Dan has another question. Is it snowing there in September?
I sure hope not. Yeah, I don't know that I ever seen snow in September yet.
Okay, good.
October, yes.
Oh, and I'm going to answer. I didn't realize I was thought to when I clicked on this. I misread it real quick. James, I only have one cache left in South Carolina now. Most mine are now moving to Memphis, Tennessee. So there's one. I have one gadget there. It's at a tax office. And then there's one at a church just a little bit down, but it's not really a gadget. It's just a creative container. and then I have my virtual downtown. Those are the only caches now that I have in South Carolina. The others that I have now are or not here. I'm in Washington State right now, but they're in Memphis, Tennessee. So just to give you a heads up on that.
Oh, look at this. Doug, did you put this up yet? What's your bucket list caches you want to find?
Oh, man. One of the ones I really wanted to find, and I actually did find it, was the Raven's Labyrinth in Prescott, Arizona. That one I've been watching for quite a while, and that is just bananas. It's amazing.
Isn't that a Just Finding Our Way cache?
No, it was the Raven was his name that put it out originally, and now it's Gene and Joe, I think, is watching it. The Raven got out of it. Dan or Dave? Dan, I think. He got out of geocaching and he left all these amazing caches up in Prescott. We did several of them when we were up there a couple of years ago. But he was a carpenter, and you could see that he doesn't have any smart tools either, because everything was made out of wood. It's pretty cool. But there was a lot of computer controls connected to it, and lights and buzzers, and it was just a maze. You had to work your way around. I'm still amazed with it, even after seeing it. The town of Prescott really got behind him, and they actually had a big gazebo built over it, and it was pretty neat.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of that one. That one looks really, really cool.
Yeah, and of course I'd like to get up to West Virginia, Tim area, and see some of them. And there's so many neat builders out there. A lot of them are I'm sure are on the show tonight watching, and there's so many neat people out there that build amazing caches.
Yes, there are.
A few bounces. And
yeah, that was a lot of fun last week, getting to some of those last week. And of course, seeing the video that we put out last week was a little bit different, because a little bit with the kids and stuff. And this week's video is a little bit different too. Not any gadgets on this next week's video, but it was just a bucket list cache for us. And so you'll get to see that. And I'm not going to spoil anything on that one, but in the area that I'm in and what was going on. So you'll get to see the video of that this week. But
I don't know if we could let Doug and Chad get together. They would make some amazing caches.
I would like to meet him. Yeah, I hope he has a trunk full.
Doug's great.
He's so excited too. That video with Joshua, that is priceless. I wish I could have that kind of. I don't know. I wish I could be like that, but it was awesome. And he's like that. I had. My wife and I had the chance to drive around with him for a couple days in Texas with him and his wife, and we had so much fun.
Yeah.
It was a blast.
Yeah.
And all I can remember is straight to jail, which Doug will know what that is. So, but anyway, sorry. Go ahead, Chad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he does seem like a very excited person to be around. I think it'd be a lot of fun to run into him somewhere.
Yeah.
I understand he's going to be moving.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Moving to Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth area.
Okay.
So, which I'm excited about, because that's a lot closer, so I can go down there a lot easier to go get some caches. So, answer your question, Doug. Yes, they were kind of in the Seattle area. I mean, the superhero one was one of my bucket list ones too. So that was there, but there's some other ones. So
yeah, the throne room one is epic.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's when Goblin Dust, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't make it. I did not make it to that one. I would love to, but I got to save some stuff for next year. I got to come back out here. I'll be back. So, because I'll be back. But
there are so many neat caches out there.
There is. Well, TriCaches, I just want to thank you for being with us tonight and showing us that simple and elegant way of doing that hidden drawer. That is just really great. That's just really awesome. And so just a really great way of doing that. So just once again, just thank you for joining us and showing us that tonight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks for inviting me on. I really enjoy doing this once it's over. While I'm doing it, I'm not so excited. But once
You get used to it.
The soldering went great. It was phenomenal.
Hey,
Yes.
If I could only
Way
keep
better
the
than mine.
Yeah, if I only could keep an internet connection working.
Hey, I was concerned how mine was going to be tonight. So I don't know if I don't know. It looks good on my side, but I don't know if I've cut out in there at all tonight. But
No.
it's been a lot of fun. I always love doing these episodes when we have our guests on and just really getting to pick their brains about all these different stuff. And of course, cannot say I love having our chat room really highly involved and asking questions and all that, because we could not do this without our viewers and those that are watching. I really do appreciate that. Any other talks? Any other combining Chad and talk and final thoughts together? And I got two Chads on with us tonight. So, Bounce, any final thoughts for tonight?
Nope. Just next show, 27th. We'll be building the maze, right? Cache.
Right.
I don't know who you'd call that technically. It'll be a maze.
It'll be amazing. It'll be an amazing cache.
That's right. I think next time we have Chad on though, or try, we need to maybe do the fan build there, that Driving Miss Daisy.
Driving Miss Daisy, because that's you make it sound so simple, and it may be, but there's some resistors in there too. But we need to have you show us how to do that one too.
If I can figure it out, anybody can. Yeah.
Oh, Engineer 42 is asking for a new challenge.
I like
maybe we do the first show of next month with a challenge on the CD drawer.
That sounds great. Let's do it.
We'll just do it right now. We're going to announce it right now. So on I got to come up with the date here. I just need to mount a big calendar in front of me.
It's not the 27th. It's the one after that. So it'd be the 3rd. It'd be the 3rd. The
3rd?
August
3rd. On August 3rd, we'll do a CD ROM or drawer challenge. So send us an email if you want to come on and show what you built. And Chad, you're more than welcome to come back on as well for that show. Even if you don't build anything, it'd be nice to have you on and you can, talk about and see what people did with your idea. Right. But that's up to you. No pressure.
Yeah, I like that challenge deal. That's neat to see what everybody else comes up with. And I'll have to think about and look through my Ziploc and see what I can find.
That sounds phenomenal. So send us an email at gadgettalkpodcast@gmail.com. Or, of course, you can visit us on any of the social medias, Twitter or Instagram or even Facebook, I believe, at Gadget Talk. Gadget Talk Podcast. And you just find us on there. Or if you need to, you can send us a instant message on there as well, and we'll be able to go through there as well. But go ahead and send us an email if you have a build that you're going to be doing for the viewer build for now that we've just thrown down the challenge for the CD drawer side send it to gadgettalkpodcast@gmail.com. So we'd love to hear from you, see what you're building, and that'll be on the 3rd of August? Yeah.
Yes, 3rd of August.
This year's flying by. I mean, we're already halfway done with this year. So
I know that's crazy. That is crazy.
But I just want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Don't forget to hit that like button and hit that thumbs up, whatever you need to do on whichever platform you're watching us on tonight. And just give us a like, and that really does help. And if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. There's so many things that go on the Geocache Talk Network, from gadgets that like we're doing tonight to puzzles to challenges, and just even our Sunday show. So just go ahead and check all those shows out. There's something for everybody on this network. So thank you for joining us tonight, and we will see you on the 27th for us doing the maze build. See you then.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Oh, there's my mouse finally working, and here's your clothes.